Welcome to Sky Sport Next, our new initiative supporting grassroots sport and rising talent across New Zealand. We're proud to be investing in Sky Sport Next to give over 50 sports a chance to be seen and to grow.
Touch New Zealand's coverage of the Premier Touch League is brought to you by SAS Sport and One Foundation. It's the Premier Touch League.
Kia ora and welcome to Game 4 of our Premier Touch League in the third round. Here in Christchurch on a beautiful day, I'm joined in commentary by former Touch Blacks women's captain and coach, Liana Fox.
Kia ora, Dana. Yeah, I'm just here in my beautiful hometown of Canterbury, ready to watch these two northern teams, the Barbarians from the Waikato and the Manukau Raiders here at the PTL tournament round 3.
The Raiders have the tap and the white here today going forward.
We've got Raiki Willison. It's good to see him out there for the Barbarians, working with Tomori on the defence line, but it looks like we've got a sweeper early on in the play. Release left to right, but good defensive systems there by Barbarians.
Yeah, strong start there. It's going to be a fast game today with the weather conditions playing their part. There's no dew on the ground, and we'll see what we can create in this fast game going forward for the Waikato Barbarians team.
I think early on we'll be looking at which team can get that early flow in their transition. Barbarians looking like they're going to try and hit into that 3-3 gap, and just an error there early on in the play. Refereeing today, we've got Henry Lobashane, Harley Wall and Caleb Downs. They'll be the officials for the match.
Yeah, they've been really good today, actually, all of our officials that have officiated the game so far in our first 3 games this morning. Looking really at that forward off the ruck, trying to keep the flow as well, giving the attack the benefit with massive fives, which is what we want to see going forward.
And as you can see in the men's grade, there's heaps of change of directions. Just getting that channel huge left to right. For an early touchdown, no, but the pass has been called forward early on.
Great referee connection there. Saw from the sideline, called that, and Henry was able to give the penalty. Baba men's rucking out from their own 5-metre line.
So we'll see they've got some leadership in there early on with Carlos Savage. He'll be taking that ball forward. Nice strong rucking, getting to the side of the play. And look, this is great speed out of the box for the Barbarians.
See what they can create off the back of it. Holding it up a little bit because they've got strong roll on to get down to the 5. Pick here from half. Looking at that passive line. Ball once again has gone forward, but great idea with the tip on.
Yeah, that was a good read by Kavanagh on the wing there. They were looking for that passive play, but he read that early and had that strike defence. So the strikers will look to come to their box. It's the first sign we've seen of their transition play. Pretty basic right now, just making sure they get those go-forward ball. But that was a lovely read defence by the winger for Barbarians. 11 there, Sunny Tahira.
Great defence here. Turnover speed strong from the Barbarians men. They're looking dominant to start off early here.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of a feel-out stage for both teams, I think. No one really giving an inch and trying to sort of just assess what their defence will set up. But Tomori on the ball there with the peel. And E4 Jones looking for the offload, but gets a repeat set on the line, which they'll be looking to set a nice sequence of plays.
They will indeed. Sean Wilkie there getting in the passing lane in that channel. Exact the right position, just couldn't hold on to the ball. Playmakers here, Shannon on the ball. Little step back dive, unfortunately. Well, strong touch there for the Raiders. The Barbars were looking for the try line.
Yeah, Willison's got a nice low dive there. That's some good defence off the line for the Raiders because the Barbarians are trying to get that dump right on the 5, but you can see the Raiders trying to push them past that 7-8 metre mark. Aoife on the ball now. Happy with that. I think the Raiders managing to hold them out for 2 sets.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with that set of defence on the line. Now let's see if they can get to the box quickly and get their fresh legs on to finish the set off strong.
You can see Bergen there, he's taking quite an active part in their transition as the winger. The more they can involve him, the more chance they get of getting their inner players on. That was a really good touch there by number 5, E4 Jones, coming right across into the middle of the field.
Referee called not square there. When you plant the ball, you have to have your hips facing the try line. Otherwise, you get called for a not square roll ball.
Yeah, they've been calling that a wee bit today, so it's obviously something that they've talked about and noticed in the previous rounds. But here we see Savage coming in. He's directing his troops. The back door there with Dallas Tepa. Beautiful touch, though, coming across from the middle.
Definitely try-saving dive there. Good show and go from Dallas Tepa to get through and break that line. But equally up to the task was our defensive line.
And that's a great first-off drive there from the Raiders. They're on touch 2. Touch 3, hitting right on that halfway line, which is what you want to do.
Rory Marshall-Barton, good to see him back out there playing touch. Previous member of our youth and New Zealand programs. He's making his debut here today. Spreading the ball.
That was a nice little pop play to come off with the goods. I think they caught them by surprise with that wee wraparound.
Yeah, Captain Michael Kavanagh showing his experience there. Vice captain of the New Zealand Open men's team. You see here, we'll watch the replay. We fake drop. Late cut there. A little bit of footwork there from Michael Kavanagh. Agility.
It's a good touchdown, so Barbarians will be looking to answer back early on. E4 Jones moving forward. Working with Sunny Tuala. Bringing in Effion Jones. And that's a beautiful little play. Looking for that 33 peel, but with the fakie back inside, it's kind of one of your little pet plays there with you and Meg Sycamore, Dana.
Yeah, we definitely, I think when you build strong combinations, that was a brother combination as well with the Jones brothers. I think it really helps when you go forward. Little inside plays, very hard to defend being in the middle of the field.
That was a great answer back because it's brought it back to 1-1 early on in this match.
See what the Manukau Raiders can do here, looking to hit back, and the Barbarian men will be trying to keep them off. It's the toughest set to defend straight after a try's been scored, but they're up to the task.
Yeah, that was some good defence there by Effion Jones. He came right up, got the touch about 8 metres off the line, profiled really well back. That's a bit of a shame having that error early in the count because it's going to give the Raiders an attacking set on the line, and I'm sure that they'll be sending out some troops from the sub-box, specific attackers for that 5-metre play.
Yeah, no touch call there, which is in touch we try to initiate, which is fully puts the attacking team at the advantage. They can control whether they're making the touch or not. So they'll be disappointed with that one, the Barbarians men. Great defence out wide though. See if they can hold solid on here. Sweeper play coming. Rory Marshall-Barton on the ball, second phase. Fortunately the wind holding up the pass there. Barton back on the ball, working with Eldon.
That's some classy footwork, just not letting the Barbarians have that sort of break, and they didn't mind dumping the ball in the 5. You know, sometimes players or teams want to pull out and just keep attacking like that, but they didn't mind that drop a metre off the line and relied on their speed and footwork. This right to left, over in the corner, and of course a good finish there by Kavanagh.
Strong combination out there, as is now for the Barbarians men's. Terry Davies working with Reiki in there, and Shannon.
That's a fumble in that ruck area, just needing to stay a lot stronger, especially if they're sitting for that set play. So the Raiders are going to transition out here, heading straight to the sub-box, getting some fresh legs on. That's nice, aggressive defence from Willison. He's not letting them get behind him, making the touches out in front. Huge right to left again. Nice little inside ball, and I'm sure they've practiced that so many times, but their link just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, good awareness there from Michael Kavanagh to throw that ball back in. Unfortunately, the link had chopped a little bit too hard and not being able to recover fast, but right idea.
giving the Barbarians a chance now to ruck forward, and that's a lovely drive there by the Barbarians, number 10. Beautiful holes shot, but just a bit too far away there, the number 12, Mariki Omua. So it's a lot of end-to-end touch that we normally see. It's sort of that grind, what we call the grind, Dana, where both teams are just rucking back and forth, completing their sets of 6.
Yeah, we're getting to the halfway point of this first half now, and usually the team who's winning the orange zone at the moment is staying in the grind the most, and now we're going to look to see if they can spread it a bit more and create something different. Here we go. And there we go, lovely finish by, once again, Captain Michael Kavanagh off some quality play. We'll watch the replay here.
It was a good dump in there, just looking for almost like a sevens type play, but what we'd sort of call a sparrow with a late cutback and a right to left to Kavanagh in the corner.
Very good awareness from the Manukau Raiders. Good connections there, working in the units.
That's brought the score to 3-1 currently, Raiders over the Barbarians, but Barbarians are getting a lot of attack time, so I'm sure they'll break the line soon.
That passive link line.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are reading that really well. It's twice now the Barbarians have tried to run it, but they've been picked up by the link. But they've managed to get in goal there. Maxwell Blake with the offload. Not sure if the Raiders will be happy with that, letting him have all that time in the in goal.
Yeah, as we see here on the replay, just a strong drive, just a pick from the 32. Uses his footwork, giving him all the time in the world. And mirrors were lost. Easy touchdown there for the Barbarians men to bring our scoreline back to 3-2.
Here we have the Raiders now. They'll be on attack. Shannon Tomori looking to get up nice and early and not give them that 5. But we've got through the in goal. Oh, and he just lost it there. That was a really good play. Sean Wilkie managed to get some footwork to get in behind.
Yeah, unfortunately couldn't finish that 1% error just then. They would have been looking for that. It would have been a great chance to push the score out again. Here we go. See if the Barbarians can counter.
E4 Jones here and organising. We've got a call here for, and again, a messy ruck. So that's 2 calls they've had on their ruck, which I'm sure they'll be talking about in the sub box, because their transition has actually been really good. It's actually on that 4th touch where they're setting up for those last 2 strikes that they're making a mistake.
Yeah, I think it's coming down to the initiating and planting it on the mark. Fortunately, a couple of messy ones, but they'll be looking to improve that. Here we go. Let's see what the Raiders can create. Working the combinations.
Wow, what a beautiful slide. Carson Heppy had made the touch and profiled really hard, but the Raiders, number 18, Ropati, that dive was nice and low, all the way from the 5 metres.
Yeah, unfortunately, just fumbling it at the end. Wind's definitely picking up here in Christchurch now, so the ball will be a lot harder to throw.
Again, Barbarians having that really good transition, but they need something off the back end of it. Tiwi Davis trying to get around that defender, but he was called onside, the number 2 there, Cairo Campbell.
He was hoping for a play-on call there. Courtney Hawke, referee, up to the task. Deemed 5 metres was appropriate. Go forward through Eldon Kaki.
The Raiders seem to stay quite tight to their sub-box when they're transitioning, but Josh Duff has managed to bring it across, and just as good as a touchdown is a repeat set, isn't it, Dana? Because you've done all that work and you're going to get another 6 goes at attacking this line. So Josh Duff is in there with the back door, number 5. Anthony Sinclair off the deck. That's some good defence, though, by Sonny Taheda coming all the way up into that link channel and then fading out. So it's really stopped them from getting that ball to Kavanagh.
Yeah, got strong position, field position here, but equally strong defence by the Barbarians men side.
Yeah, good D by Jones. They'll want to transition this out and ruck really hard, get some fresh legs on, because having to defend that repeat set is really hard. Now this is much better, right through the middle. Here comes E4 Jones. Nice dump to the side of the player. Shannon Tamudi with the ball, bringing in Willison. Oh, I think if E4 had just taken the short option, because it was right there, but, you know, well done from the Barbarians. They transitioned all the way out 5-5 and actually gave him 3 different options. It was just the wrong choice in the end for E4.
Early mistake there. Josh Duff not connecting with his middles and throwing the ball to the ground. Strong field position now for the Barbarians men. Let's see if they can create a try here.
Now, there's some smart attackers out there with Willison and Jones. Nice little give back. He's going to go again, but oh, that's a shame. You don't really want or need to throw that extra pass on that first touch.
No, definitely strong defence there from Sean Wilkie, getting up in that passing channel, ensuring that his team doesn't have to defend too much.
That was good defence by Hawkeye, getting up and stopping that flow, that front foot ball. Marshall Barton going in for the hit on that phase, but opting to go on his own was Kavanagh.
Comedy on the ball, looking to go forward. These attackers will cycle off now and they'll bring some fresh ones on. Jones taking that touch. It's only touch 3. 4 now, a couple up their sleeve.
This is what Carlos has done really well off that transition. This is a really good pick. Barbarians player looking for a free person. He did really well there, Omar, to get around his winger. They're going to have a chat about it. No, they're awarding the touchdown.
Get that one on the replay again, as you see Carlos Savagen using his experience to drive in there. Dallas Tapar picking it up from half, using his speed. He has got pace to burn. The winger losing. I think they might have called an early touch there from the winger of the Manukau Raiders. So their try has been given. It takes our score to 3-3. Close game here.
Yeah, a really close game. And actually, if you notice, the pace is sort of slowed up from the original 5 minutes or right at the start. Starts to become a bit more tactical. So obviously the speed has been taken out. They're looking to be more tactical with their plays. Look at that beautiful little play. I think that surprised the Barbarians a little bit. So they had the sweep on, but then that inside channel from the link sort of caught them off guard.
Yeah, little trick plays have become quite a big thing. There we go. We see one again. Unfortunately, picking the wrong option in the long, especially in this wind. The ball travels forward quite a bit.
Yeah, Hignett Morgan looking for that sort of pop wrap again that they were successful with earlier, but Barbarians onto it in this instance. Tiwi Davis, he's going to drive them out for that first touch. Willison heading to their box. So no one really looking to go far side or wide early on with their transitions. They're all opting just for that basic get to the box mentality and then drive on for the 4th and 5th. Willison's going to have the pick here. Left to right long, but picked up quite nicely by Kavanagh.
He's a very smart winger out there wide. It takes a bit to get through him. Unfortunately, that time picking the wrong option and going long from the attack. See what the Raiders can do on their way out.
This is much better pressure from the Barbarians, although they've just got caught there on the wing, but they were sending 2 up at a time, which was sort of stopping the flow of the Raiders. But they'll bring on fresh legs. Oh, just miscommunication there. He wasn't quite ready for that pass.
Yeah, it's happened a couple of times for the Manukau Raiders now. They just haven't quite got the communication right in their box and when they're entering the field. Needs to be a bit more go forward and strengthen those rucks and play-ons.
Tamuri will bring it in. He's having a chat there with his combo. You can see E4 Jones sitting out at link. Tapar with the ball, a bit of a pump, and then release early by E4 Jones. Has he got that down? They're going to award the penalty. Fairly close for Hawkeye in the corner.
Yeah, the Raiders side just not quite lifting off the line. Giving away another penalty. 6 touches up their sleeve.
I think all eyes are on Tapar at the moment. He's been a bit of a handful for the Raiders. But that's some good defence. Good hustle on the line.
Smart plays from the Barbarian men to keep it in tight in their first couple, not to waste it. E4's on the ball.
Just watching the line of Tapar then. Looking for that second phase, but Raiders again doing really well not to sort of rush that. Now they'll want to get them where they're well past the 5. Tapar again, but look at that line. Oh, if he hadn't got up into that channel, that was a definite touchdown there for Hepe in the link.
Chase Pamatato in that link roll there.
Oh, good physical touch down low, but no, the inside combination there of Pamatato and Alex Howarth, they're defending really well. And this is much better defence, getting up in their face, getting them 7 metres off the line, and that's caused that error in the passing.
Very, very, very good pressure from the defensive side. See if they can get a go forward now and not make those critical errors early on.
Yeah, they've been down this end of the field for a wee while now. I'm sure they'll be eager to get some fresh legs. They're very lucky not to get the overstep. Here come more troops with Marshall Barden getting involved there at number 20. Still a little bit disorganised though. No real comms about what the setup is. So I don't know if they're chatting about that in the box and being prepared for it, or if they're just running on and hoping someone's going to initiate something.
Yeah, they've gone away from their strong, just hit the box and enter on the field, what they had in the first 10 minutes of this game. So I'm sure they'll be talking about that at half-time. The Barbarians men will be looking to convert here. They've been in their half for quite a bit of time with nothing on the scoreboard to show for it. So let's see what they can do.
Still looking for those little quickie plays and getting caught dumping, 4 metres off the line. I think both of these players have been in New Zealand programs, especially Tomori, and I think they need to be thinking a little bit wider than that. The last 5 minutes that they've been down this line, they've really tested that 3-3, and I think they probably need to spread wider with that. But at least now we have the Raiders heading up into that halfway mark. Let's see if they can get over the halfway line here. That's much better.
Yeah, I think we just saw the experience of Michael Kavanagh just then coming in, asking his team that he'll take the hit to get the go forward going strong. They're at their last touch here. Let's see what they can create. Hooter's gone, out the back. Oh!
What a pass by Josh Duff. He knows it himself. Look at that swagger as he's walking back to the sub box. But what a way to end the half. That's going to bring them up to take a 1-point lead in this first half. So just watching almost something from nothing. A little right foot step, a pump, and just trusting that his teammate Kavanagh is going to catch that once he releases it.
Yeah, they caught the Barbarians men just stepping a little bit flat-footed on the try line there as they heard the hooter go. Smart play there. I think they were running that passive line a little bit against them, which they've been defending very, very, very well for the first half of this game, and puts them up on the scoreboard to go into halftime.
Yeah, I think it just highlights how the huge effort that you have to make off the ball and what you have to do off the ball in terms of running those correct lines, because it opens up options for everything else. Quite often people are so focused on who's got the ball and the two, one player around them, but actually all the work that the link and the wing are doing to chop those correct holes, it creates something like that.
Very true. We've got a game on our hands here. There's 1 point scoreline. It's going to be a great second half here. The wind is definitely picking up and the clouds are coming out.
So we know that Mitta Graham isn't with the Barbarians this week, so who do you think will be stepping up and really taking control of that half-time chat?
I think that we'll see Coach Given Downs more asking more of his men to keep that go forward and keep the momentum. They're quite lethal off the back of it. When they get likes of E4 Jones, Dallas Tapar, Carlos Savage going forward off the back of things. They've got the experience in this side, I think, through the midfield especially. So I think they'll be asking for more of that flow on effect rather than the settling down, slowing it up game.
Yeah, because I think they've got a lot more arsenal in their attack. It's just their option taking. So once they can sort that out, especially with the likes of Tomori and E4 Jones in there, I think that will make a huge difference. And then with the Raiders, you can see Kavanagh down there. Even though he's on the wing for the team, he has a lot of touch nous, and he knows what needs to happen for his team. You can see him fist pumping and trying to up the ante with his team. So what are some things you think that they might like to target in the second half?
Yeah, definitely. You can see that they're taking control a little bit of this halftime chat, and I think that their go forward is their main thing right now. Their 5 metre line attack is actually really, really good this first half, but their go forward getting from one end of the field to the other.
Yeah, I agree. And just on that defensive line, they have actually defended out quite a few good sets of 6, but I think taking those opportunities when the Barbarians are actually stepping back past that 8 metre, really go them. It's only happened a couple of times, but when it has happened and that pressure has been put on the Barbarians, they've actually dropped the ball or made errors. So I'd like to see them try and lift in that area as well.
Definitely. We're going into the second half of this game. Manukau Raiders are leading the Barbarians men's team 4-3. Great job from our referees so far, really controlling this game and keeping it opening the field up a little bit. So we've got a lot of play-through calls, got a lot of penalties being given away, and it just makes for a really exciting game to watch.
And like you said earlier, the wind has picked up quite a bit, so it may change the style in which both teams want to play. I'm not sure if those long balls will be quite as prevalent in this half, but we shall see. So Willison, he's taking it forward early on. These two just opting to keep it in the middle, nice and early with Hepi there. looking for that 33 peel. Again with the inside play, trying to mismatch of numbers there, but Raiders were onto it early. Probably just tried to set that play too close to the line, do you think, Dana?
Yeah, I think they made quite a bit of metres, which they weren't maybe expecting, and then didn't adjust. Oh, unfortunately, couldn't be brought in there, but good combination there from Tomuri and Jones.
Better change up too, I think, with that type of play hitting that link channel. It was just the execution of that pass, but this is better from the Raiders, really just driving forward, keeping it quite basic, involving Kavanagh there so that it's not going to take up too many of the inners and getting back to the middle. So I'll look for a set drop here. Looking for a pick off the back end of this, a lovely plant. But that's okay, you know, that's end-to-end touch for them, and if they can keep that percentage high, then it's going to give them options attack-wise in the later end of this game.
Yeah, end-to-end for both teams. They're strong, just finishing that 1%er. They both had the pick, they both had the choppers, just could not finish off, unfortunately. But we're just settling into the second half, so I'm sure it will pick up in this part.
Touches getting a lot more physical out there. Two-handed touches. Here we go, Tepa again, just really taking on the defender. He's pretty much running directly at him, isn't he? And making, you know, saying to Marshall Barton, come on, make a decision. Are you going to touch me and get caught offside, or are you going to chase me down? And in that instance, it paid off for him with the touchdown. Here he goes.
Breaks the line there. Bit of holding going on, bit of push off from Tiwi Davies to get free and score that try.
That's going to bring it back up to even 4-all in this round of the PTL. Josh Duff coming on with a huge back door there. Early release. Can he finish in the corner? Good finish by Kavanagh. It's a shame there. I think O'Moore actually had him, but possibly dived too early.
I think so too. Check it out again. Josh Duff with the strong dump there early on. Backdoor play, sweeper, early release.
Yeah, I think it was the speed too of which that Raiders player came round on the back door, because he had that advantage running straight away and really put the Barbarians on the back foot.
Going back out to a lead of 5-4 as the Manukau Raiders. This is an important set of defence for them. They've got to hold this Barbarian side off as they look to attack with some of their main attackers on now. Willison, Tomuri.
That was a really good change up. I like that. Looking for that 33 peel, but just a fade out into the link. So Tomuri's going to pick off the deck there for right to left to Willison. But again, really, really good D from the Raiders.
Solid defence there. It's what they would have been looking for.
Sean Wilkie's been quite a big, a strong defender for this Raiders side, hasn't he? He's actually, every time I've looked out there with his backwards cap, he's the one that's making all those touches through the middle.
Yeah, really dominant presence there on that 5 metre line for the group, getting that go forward strong. Main attackers here. Lucky to get away with that touch and pass, I think, but we'll see what they can create. Kaki on the ball. Easy shutdown defense. Oh no, penalty's been given away. Courtney Hawke, right referee, right in the middle of the thick of things there.
I think that there's just no downtime, you know, when Kaki gets the ball, and so it's really hard for that Barbarian side to get on side. And of course, he sort of shows and pumps the ball a lot, makes it really hard for the defenders to decide which player to mark up on. So a little quickie here. Might have been just short. Good defence though from Willison.
See what they can set up. Still got 4 touches up their sleeve.
Going to bring Kaki back in on the play here. Ropati looking, hovering around for that back door, but Campbell's pulled out. Bring it back over to Marshall Barton. Staying in that 32 channel. Wee Geordie with the split inside. A late little cut. Still testing the waters, but Barbarians doing really well to keep them off that 5 there. But just getting done for rolling back or not moving forward off that line fast enough for the ref.
Yeah, good strong competing defence here from the Barbarians men's. They're not letting them shut too early to give a numbers advantage. They're trying to man on as much as they can.
That's a real good defensive read by Willison. Again, a shame though, he, rather than profiling across, he knew that they were splitting in and managed to cover off on both the touch and then the next play. Moody having to work really hard after that touch to get back on side, but managing a good cover again from Willison. So those two working really well. Raiders men bringing up some new subs here, some attackers. And you'd class that as a win for the Barbarians on that line.
Definitely. I think the Raiders team just rushing it a little bit there. Still had a couple of touches up their sleeve and could settle it with their fresh legs on. But here we go. Win for the Barbarians, and now they're yarding out.
Tiwi Davis and Tepa trying to get involved again. E4 Jones on the ball. The speed at their passes. That was a good change up in speed because their transition, I would say, wasn't that clean and didn't have that much pace on it. But I like the way at the back end of that 4th and 5th, they inject a bit of speed.
Here we go. Raiders, much better yards in the second half. Touch 2 and they're already over halfway. Looking not to slow it up too much. Fresh legs are on.
Wilkie's got the ball there and Morrison sitting at link. Morrison's got the ball, going to drive in for Wilkie there on the 5th. Oh, and in the channel, assuming he was onside, Tiwi Davis, going to be hard to stop this man as he goes all the way length of the field, touchdown.
Real good defense there from the experience of Tiwi Davis, but
you see more and more of this sort of intercepts, through those channels because they're sort of it's no longer that you get back on side and just man up straight away. You get back on side and then you lift towards that space so that you've got the option of both. And because you do that, you quite often get in that passing lane.
Brings our scores back to level, 5-all. Raiders will be looking to hit straight back here.
I wouldn't say it's been like an overall fast game though at all. Even comparing it to the earlier Raiders and Strikers match, the women's match, that seemed to be much faster. But here's a big sweep again. Huge left to right. But that's a good pickup, though, from the wing of the Barbarian side.
Especially in the wind, just being able to throw a long ball like that and keeping it up in the air is really positive for the Raiders side.
Campbell trying to make something out of nothing there for the Raiders, but they'll turn it over and get this early transition for the Barbarians as they come through. Again, just going straight to the box.
The better go forward, not as casual from the Barbarian side.
I think the Barbarians are where they're struggling here is they're just coming so deep, from so deep they're actually not breaking that advantage line. But Tepa has got through and offloaded. The referee's going to call 6 touch. So not bad though, end to end.
Controlling that ball. Dallas has got speed to burn, getting through that line again, but was called early for that touch. Referee deemed them to be onside.
And like we said earlier, with the wind, it is going to change the style of game that both teams are playing, and that's probably had influence on the pace of the match. So here we go, Kavanagh trying to get that go forward and their transition going. They still need the comms. It's Josh Duffy's going to get that front foot ball. Nice dump, early pick. Completed set of 6, but probably not further enough down the field.
Kept that very narrow towards their sub box that time, didn't spread the field too much. Might have been a tactic.
I think here the Raiders just getting caught, sort of lazy running, making the touch, but that touch was behind the player. Lucky to get away with that. Referee Hawke picking it up. This is much better drive. Josh Duff on the ball. They're going to get some subbers on now. So I feel the coach of the Raiders team are probably looking to sub on some nice attackers because they've got about three in the count. Wilkie making the touch there. He's got Morrison with him. These two sort of work together. They've come on together. They've done a lot of defence, not much attack. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of plays they'd like to pull out.
Here we go. Let's see what they've got. 32 long play. Extra long. Looking to settle it. It's touch 5.
Lovely left foot step. But again, in that channel for early turnover. So I think maybe trying to force that attack a little bit much. And Tamatato hasn't really been involved too much in their attack, which is surprising because, he's such a lethal weapon out there. And although he's young, he can control a lot of the play that they run.
Definitely. I think he's experienced here for the stepping up a little bit more for the Barbarians men at the moment. See Savage out there trying to finish off strong on the 5th. Great defence though from the Raiders.
Come the Raiders, driving on, getting their fresh legs. Marshall Barden carrying the ball now with Campbell beside him. These two have sort of come up together with a wee combo. for using Marshall Barden as a setter for Campbell probably.
Yeah, he's got a very good strong drive on him. Here we go, we'll see it now. There.
Ropati with the pick. Oh, I think he could have come in for that, don't you think? That would have been an easy touchdown. A beautiful left to right by Ropati.
Barbarians being given away a penalty there, just not quite getting onside. Great field position with a fresh set for the Raiders.
A fresh set for the Raiders, and Marshall Barden's come off and they've brought on Anthony Sinclair sitting at that link, so we'll see what the play will be. Ropati looking for the quickie. You know, most teams will look for that early on just to settle it. It's a low-risk play, and you never know, if you've got a good diver, you can sometimes catch them unawares. So Sinclair coming in off that 33 peel. Good read, though, by the number 11 there. Sonny Tahiti's done a good job on that far side wing.
Solid defence so far. See if they can hold out for these last two touches.
Campbell getting involved with Sinclair. Oh, Ropati with the in and away. I think he's going to call that down. Possibly offside there from the 15. Hawkeye. Beautiful little play. He'd been working really hard at that, Ropati, for that whole set.
Great footwork here. We're going to see the replay.
Still keeping their attack really congested on that 5 metre line though, but look at him, he's sitting there in that backdoor channel, early ball. Looks like he's coming in with the follow, but then fades out.
Great honesty there by number 15. Called the no touch. Said that he didn't quite make it, which is exactly what we want in our game.
So Portini rolls Paiwai, he's in there at the moment, working with E4, he's sitting at link. Looking for the early 33 peel. He's just going to release right to left. Possibly a bit of a forced play.
Especially in this wind, the long balls aren't as prominent and they definitely don't pull off as much. Need to keep it a little bit tighter, I think, at this stage.
Yeah, I do think the conditions play a huge part in the types of play, and that's possibly why Ropati earlier on wanted to just keep it short, because risking those long balls in these conditions, if you can tell on the TV, it is quite windy. Sinclair, he's coming out of that box with a lot of energy in that link roll. Josh Duff on the ball now, bringing in Hignett Morgan. He's going to look to sweep. He's just hovering around that back door, but Josh Duff, he pulls out. Tepo with the touch, 6 metres out from the line. And a beautiful pickup. What's the ref going to call here? Assuming it's an offside ball, but E4 Jones in that channel again. So this is the third time that the Barbarians have managed to get in that channel, and it's obviously something that they've practiced loads and loads back home.
I think if E4 had caught that pass instead of his teammate, and the play would have been play on. Unfortunately, forward pass gets called.
And if you watch E4 Jones, quite often he starts well behind the line. If you can see on the screen there, he's not even on the line. So it looks like he's still moving forward, but quite often he's only just on the line once the touch is made. This is good defence because they've got them out 8 metres past. Backdoor by the Raiders, looking for the long right to left. A wee little, probably a suck in there by Kavanagh on the wing. Managed to get the ball away.
There you go, Josh Duff setting up. 32 in, we Geordie play, steps back short. Oh, beautiful.
That was beautiful. Like you said, it was a wee 32, turned into a Geordie there, and he just had the left foot step, managing to cause the Barbarians link to come inside, and he offloaded.
Got good footwork here, as you see, splits in, looks like he's going that way, little shimmy, and finds the wing, possibly napping a little bit, not shutting on that one. 7-5 lead to the Manukau Raiders side.
No, isn't it? With only 5.5 minutes to go, it's still plenty on the line. Barbarians down by 2, but they're on the attack now with Tamuri. Nice pass. Still, that long ball's still on, so they do have the options. I'm just not sure if they're taking the right ones at the time.
Definitely setting up lots of good plays, just the little 1% finishes aren't quite pulling off at the moment.
This is where they're going to need some leadership and calm heads. And, you know, with Graham not there, you'd be looking for Carlos Savage to sort of get his troops going. The refs aren't happy with that defensive play, so Raiders are going to get another set here, which is good. Gives them the whole opportunity to sub almost the whole team, leaving the wingers on just to take that first touch. Campbell again working with Marshall Barden. and Ropati, who set up that last touchdown earlier on.
They'll definitely want him on the back of this.
Campbell coming in, looking like Kakia, looking for that big sweep. Huge play, inside ball. Oh, right idea, though. They had mismatched numbers on that far side. The Barbarians managing to weather the storm at the moment. There has been a shift in the momentum, and the Raiders keeping that scoreline ahead by 2. But this is a good drive there by Hawkeye. This is much better. Getting across on the 5th. Tiwi Davis going to have a little picket play. But Kevin safe in his hands on the wing. And a quick turnover.
Raiders going forward here.
This is much better. It's probably the most energetic, transition that we've seen from both sides in the match. Josh Duff with those snaky runs. This is a really good pick. But a lovely touch there by the 15, Taylor Hawkeye. Sorry, 19 there, Effion Jones.
Definitely touch needed to be made there, or he would have broken the line, and it would have been very hard to mirror from that far out.
That was a good little play there, just the behind the, or the backdoor type play from Tiwi.
Little fumble in the ruck. Great refereeing there. We don't want to reward incorrect roll balls.
You can see the added enthusiasm, though, from the Raiders as they come out of the box. They're all hungry. They all want the ball. Morrison driving it all the way across there early. Interesting to see what play they've done. They've kept it quite short for most of the match. Alex Howarth with the ball off the deck.
Great defence there and close.
The ref's going to award the penalty there for the forward pass. So we'll look for the Barbarians to possibly have a play coming out of the box. I'm sure they would have had time to organise that. Bringing on the lights of Tipa. Here he come into that attack line. And Tipa on the ball there. You can see, you can see the Raiders players all getting up in that channel when you're not going to notice this much more. So are they calling for the repeat set? No, ball to ground.
Courtney Hawk thought it might have been touched in the ear, but nope, honesty calls from both sides.
That's really good there by Rolls Paiwai, getting up nice and early. He needs to put pressure on the Raiders early on. It just relieves a bit of pressure when they get down to that line to stop them early on in that orange. Here we go. Marshall Barden having a huge run across field, still making metres though, making a good 10 metres out of that box. Ropati, he wants involvement early on. Setting up, involving Kaki. Marshall Barden giving it across to Campbell. We are looking for Ropati on the ball. Good read though by E4 Jones.
Barbarians been just happy to roll back onto their try line just then. Not rushing too much, but strong defence overall, looking to go forward.
So with only a minute to go, it's not out of the realms of possibility they could get 2 quick touchdowns, but things like that aren't going to help their cause, just getting out of the box. Just messy ruck ball, and that comes from fatigue more than likely. With the wind factor up, the fatigue's going to set in earlier on, but Tumuri trying to rally his troops. You can see him getting up early for the defence line. Josh Duff's coming on though. He wants a bit more attack before this match ends up. Darius Hignett-Morgan, he's going to follow just in behind Duff there. He wants to play, he wants to jink around a little, but now they get the drop 7 metres out from the line, huge right to left. Lovely little tap-in play. Again, they tried that earlier on in the first half, but it's managed to be pulled off. And that's just a really good read from Josh Duff and Kavanagh, because if you've played with Kavanagh, you know that he's going to push it right to the end. You see so many of these tries, so many more of these tries being scored where the defensive wing is chasing so hard out that they leave that gap behind and the link just hasn't followed. And that's the hooter for the final score of this match, ending up 8-5 to the Manukau Raiders, which was actually, the scoreline doesn't really show. It was quite a gritty match, and they stayed in it for quite a while, the Barbarians.
Yeah, I think it was just the final 5 minutes that got away on them a little bit. But overall, two quality sides there who we'll see again later in this afternoon in their final game of the third round of our PTL series.
I think that Raiders side really at halftime must have had a chat about that transition because that cleaned up a lot, and it was superior to the Barbarian side. And then just getting down on the line and not trying to force too many of those longs in the conditions, because you could see Ropati wanting to play it short for quite a period of the time.
Yeah, the go-for that they had really did make a difference at the end there, and staying in the grind for the whole 40 minutes, I think. We saw that confidence build and we saw them improve throughout the game. So great game from both teams.
Kia ora, welcome back for the PTL Series 3 game, the showdown between Metro. Not even. These guys are the winners today. The Raiders taking on the Barbarians, and I'm here with the Kevinator, Michael Kavanagh. How are you feeling, my friend?
Yeah, no, it was good, that one. Had a lot to work on from the first 2 weeks, and I thought the boys really held their heads high in that one and stuck at that full 40.
Nice, and I sort of lost count after 4 touchdowns, but I told you scored 5 touchdowns in the game. What's the secret of your success?
Nah, it's nothing about what happens out wide. All the work comes from the middle, so we've got a young crew, and just the way that they picked up their attitudes in that one and really just took it forward, and can't be more pleased than that from the young ones.
Nice. Anyone standing out in the middle for you?
Yeah, we got Tucks running around in there, and a couple of the young boys from the club scene around the county's Manukau region through Loaded, Elements, Bullets, Amped, all the other crews that are running around up there, and I think they really brought it today. You know, we played in our pods and it worked well.
Nice. The last time I spoke to you, you were talking about the experience you have, and we've got a lot of young people in here, and just getting them to lift to this type of game. How's that going for you? Getting happy with that situation?
Yeah, I think maybe the first 2 weeks we were just finding our feet, and then I think the boys brought a sense of confidence today, and they actually showed their worths out there with the amount of talent that the crew has, and it was just real pleasing to see them chuck it out on the field today.
Nice work, and we'll be watching you for your next game, mate. Well done, all the best, and we'll see you next time round.
Cheers, Georgie.
Cheers, buddy. Touch. What a game.
Through Sky Sport Next, these athletes and their sports have the chance to tell their story. We want to inspire more Kiwis to play sport. Together, our goal is to significantly grow the reach and engagement of New Zealand sports.
Touch New Zealand's coverage of the Premier Touch League is brought to you by SAS Sport and One Foundation.